Delivery. Define the location of delivery and completion thereof so that there is no ambiguity. With something like this: the supplier shall deliver the goods to the location set out in the order, or such other location as the parties may agree. Delivery location at any time after the supplier notifies the customer that the goods are ready, or the customer shall collect the goods from the supplier's premises at insert address, or such other location as may be advised by the supplier prior to delivery. Delivery location within 3 business days of the supplier notifying the customer that the goods are ready. Ensure delivery dates are approximate only and not made a condition of the contract to avoid unnecessary claims or get out clauses. With something like this: any dates quoted for delivery are approximate only and the time of delivery is not of the essence. The supplier shall not be liable for any delay in delivery of the goods that is caused by a force majeure event or the customer's failure to provide the supplier with adequate delivery instructions or any other instructions that are relevant to the supply of the goods. Now, you may have noticed a funny word in that condition that you don't understand: force majeure event. Don't worry, I will provide the appropriate definition later on because it will be repeated in other conditions. Limit liability for failure to deliver the goods to avoid onerous claims and exposure to claims of no fault of your own. With something like this: if the supplier fails to deliver the goods, its liability shall be limited to the costs and expenses incurred by the customer in obtaining replacement goods of similar description and quality in the cheapest market available, less the price of the goods. The supplier shall not have liability for any failure to deliver the goods to the extent that such failure is caused by a force majeure event or the customer's failure to provide the supplier with adequate delivery instructions or any other instructions that are relevant to the supply of the goods. Once again, we've mentioned force majeure. As I said earlier, it's quite a popular condition. Make provision and conditions for failure of the customer to take delivery of the goods. With something like this: if the customer fails to take delivery of the goods within 3 business days of the supplier notifying the customer that the goods are ready, then, except where such failure or delay is caused by a force majeure event, there it is again, or the supplier's failure to comply with its obligations under the contract, A. Delivery of the goods shall be deemed to have been completed at 9 a.m. on the 3rd business day after the day on which the supplier notified the customer that the goods were ready, and B. The supplier shall store the goods until delivery takes place and charge the customer for all related costs and expenses, including insurance. Ensure customers do not have the right of rejection for minor discrepancies in the quantity ordered. With something like this: the customer shall not be entitled to reject the goods if the supplier delivers up to and including 5% more or less than the quantity of goods ordered, but a pro rata adjustment shall be made to the order invoice on receipt of notice from the customer that the wrong quantity of goods was delivered. For large orders, and depending on delivery times that influence the same, make it a condition of the contract that you can deliver the goods by instalments without exposure to cancellation. We recommend something like this: the supplier may deliver the goods by instalments, which shall be invoiced and paid for separately. Each instalment shall constitute a separate contract. Any delay in delivery or defect in an instalment shall not entitle the customer to cancel any other instalment. Now let's go to the definition of force majeure. And it is important that you define what a force majeure event is in your contract. Now, here we have it. Brace yourself because it's quite a lengthy term. Force majeure. Neither party shall be liable for any failure or delay in performing its obligations under the contract to the extent that such failure or delay is caused by a force majeure event. Here we go. Deep breath. A force majeure event means any event beyond a party's reasonable control, which by its nature could not have been foreseen, or if it could have been foreseen, was unavoidable, including strikes, lockouts, or other industrial disputes, whether involving its own workforce or a third party's, failure of energy sources or transport network, acts of God, war, terrorism, riot, civil commotion, interference by civil or military authorities, national or international calamity, armed conflict, malicious damage, breakdown of plant or machinery, nuclear, chemical or biological contamination, sonic boom, explosions, collapse of building structures, fires, floods, storms, earthquakes, loss at sea, epidemics or similar events, natural disasters or extreme adverse weather conditions, or default of suppliers or subcontractors. If there is anything I've discussed of interest to you, or if you need help with your terms and conditions, please do not hesitate to get in touch on the number listed at the end of this video.